Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Sam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back, all my artists, creatives, crafters, and makers. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. All right, so now today we are going to do a quick little run through of one more idea to use your background prints on. As I've showed you before, I showed you the last video, which I'll put up in the corner. I showed you how I used the background prints that we used, the background prints that we created in a previous video, how I used it to make some care cards to send out to some of my Sunday school students and some of Josh's friends. And so this video, I'm showing you how I used it to create a quick journal. And by quick, I do mean very quick. This is not a junk journal. It is simply a journal. Now, because I am in the process of mass making pretty much duplicate journals to send out to friends, adults, women for Mother's Day, I really don't want to overcomplicate it with having a whole lot of different variations. So the background prints that I scanned in is what I'm going to use for the covers of the journals. And then I will figure out the elements that I'm going to add to them. But for mine, which I've mentioned in previous videos, this will be my devotional journal, and I needed to just put something together really quick. So I started this one off as kind of like a template for myself for the mask making, and I'm not going to do that on video. I just ain't got time for that. I may pop on and share with you where I'm at in the process, but I need to get them done and get them in the mail, and we're already in May, so there we are with that. Anywho, so this one is my daily devotional journal, and as you can see, I have used the background prints. Somebody else in one of the videos made a comment. They said it looks like sherbet. It does remind you of like a raspberry orange sherbet, you know. But what I did was, again, using the BB Craft book binding kit, took the printable that I created and added it to this journal really quickly. I have no idea what that is. Oh, now for my journal, it's nothing but a bunch of misprints, pages that I couldn't use in the journals that I'm going to be sending out, or ones that I was doing test runs on. So don't look at this as being, you know, the final copy. Hold that for a moment. You've got to love those random telemarketers calls, and they'll probably call back anyways. How dare they interrupt me? Anyway, so this has got some misprints in it, some one-sided as opposed to two-sided, but I'm just going to show you really quickly some of the pages that are going to be in it. So on the front, you see Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. I've taken some of these images from off of public domain PNG files that I found that were free, and just added them to some pages with some quotes or journal prompts. So it says kindness is key, and again, this one is a misprint because the kindness is off too far. Gonna take a sentimental journey. This one is a misprint because the book, the bicycle is blurry. Hopefully I'm in frame, yeah. So a lot of these are not the final imaging, but just trying to get the placement of things. And for me, I just need to be able to write from my journal. So what I did was I took the background print, then I took cardstock, because this print is printed on white cardstock, and I want to say it is 80-pound weight. Let me just check that. It is, yeah, 80-pound weight. The Nina, 65 pound, yeah, 65 pound Nina, bright white, and I got that from Walmart more than likely. print, so the background print is printed on the white cardstock. Then I just took some cardstock that I had from a scrapbook kit, you know, scrapbook paper, and I cut it to the same size as this. I then cut it in half, removing maybe about a half of an inch. So this is 8.5 by 11. The sheet, the background was printed on 8.5 by 11. I then cut out 8.5 by 11 from the cardstock, from the scrapbook cardstock. I cut off maybe a half an inch. I cut it in half so that it would not, so that there would be a gap in the center. Why did I put a gap in the center? Because the first try, when I went to glue it down, it was buckling. I took a whole 8.5, glued it down to the background print, and when I went to go fold it, it was just causing me all type of problems. So I pulled it up, redid it, cut it in half, put it on both sides, and then it left a little gap. I then took some additional piece of cardstock print, you know, something that would complement the book. Cut it, I think the strip is about 3 inches wide, 2 inches wide. Folded that in half, and then I took my book, set that down inside, and glued that in place with the folds meeting. Okay, and that was a lot easier, and I needed that extra strip there for support for the holes. Okay, so I then took some black and white paper from the gratitude journal that was left over from the gratitude journal and made the pockets, and just used some scrap papers from out of my scrap bin to add a couple of embellishments. And so this journal altogether, even with the fumbling, probably took me about an hour to put together, with the addition of the wait time from decoupaging this on and adding the washi tape and sewing it. So about an hour was what it took to do this entire journal, as well as add the signature in. So one more thing I have to add is that I used the Scraptastic binding template, the journal binding template, and I mentioned that in a previous video. It just makes putting those holes in there a lot easier, because I was able to, which I didn't do on my last video, use the template to mark the holes on the journal, put all the pages together, which I actually ended up having to cut down because they were a little too large for the book, but I just used a, what do you call it, a box cutter, like a little thin little box cutter to do that. Anyways, then I took the binder clips from the book binding kit, put them together, not inside the journal, put them together, used the template, put the holes in here, marked the holes. You see the pink right there, that was the wrong hole. Put the holes in here as well. So then I was able to bring everything together and bind it quickly. So again, just having the right tools sometimes do make the process easier, but I think making sure that you know the steps that it's going to take ahead of time before you sit down definitely does help minimize the amount of time that you need. Because if you're anything like me, sometimes you only got 20 minutes before you got to start dinner, or 20 minutes before you're heading out the door to get to the grocery store. And if you already know what steps you need to take to get to a certain point, you can kind of plan it accordingly. So, you know, a lot of times I'm just popping on sharing this information for those of you who have tight schedules, or moms with kids who they're always in your craft space, and you know you ain't got but a limited amount of time before you're interrupted or pulled away, or have to make a snack, or have to put the kids in the bathtub or whatever, and you just need to make the most of the creative time that you do have. So I hope that does help those of you who are, you know, cramped for time. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below in the comment section. And if you like this video, and if you have, or if you've gotten to this part of the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. because, it's just a way of saying, girl, I see you. Anyways, now, make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Check in on a neighbor. Check in on your elderly. Make sure you're washing those hands. And until we're back here again on YouTube, guys, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative, and crafting. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.